This is the Australian stock market closing report for Wednesday, the 8th of June 2016. The US major averages were mixed, with the Dow and the S&P closing higher and the NASDAQ closing slightly lower. The crude oil contract closed at a new yearly high, up 1.45%, creating positive leads for the Australian energy sectors. The ASX 200 was flat to slightly negative in today's session, closing down 1 point to 5,370. The day's trading range was 40 points, with the low of the session at 5,335 and the high of the session at 5,375. Market breadth for the benchmark index was positive, with 108 advancing stocks versus 77 declining stocks and 15 stocks unchanged. The ASX sectors were mixed across the board, with the energy sector moving in lockstep with the crude oil contract to close higher 2.1%. Liquefied natural gas led the components, closing higher by 25%. Worley Parsons closed to the upside 5.5%, and Whitehaven Coal was up 5.3%. The consumer staples sector also demonstrated relative strength to the overall market, closing higher by 0.86%. Metcash was the strongest component, closing up 2.3%. Wesfarmers was higher by 1.8%, and Select Harvests was up 1.5%. The financial sector closed in the red, 0.15%. Henderson Group was the weakest, closing down 1.4%. Abacus Property was down 1.2%, and Perpetual was lower by 1.2%. The banking bellwethers were mixed, with ANZ closing down 0.5% or 13 cents to $24.73. The Commonwealth Bank closed down 0.45% or 35 cents to $76.99. National Australia Bank closed down 0.45% or 12 cents to $26.47. And Westpac closed to the upside 0.3% or 9 cents higher to $30.60. The materials sector was lower by 0.61%, with BHP Billiton down 1.2% or 24 cents to $19.54, and Rio Tinto lower by 1.9% or 87 cents to $45.17. In economic news, the Australian Bureau of Statistics released the Housing Finance Report for April, indicating that the number of home loans approved rose 1.7%, which missed consensus of a 2.5% rise. However, the value of total dwelling loan commitments fell 1.8% in the month of April. Loans approved for owner-occupied housing increased 0.1%, and loans to investors fell a sharp 5% for the month, and year-over-year investor financing was down 21%. First home buyers comprised of 14.4% of total loans to owner-occupiers in April, which is well below the long-term average of 20%. The 5 most active stocks were Liquefied Natural Gas with a volume of 35.43 million, Telstra Corporation with 21.38 million, Fortescue Metals with 16.61 million, Qantas Airways with 13.96 million, and Duet Group with 13.65 million shares changing hands. The 5 best performers were Liquefied Natural Gas up 25%, Worley Parsons up 5.5%, Whitehaven Coal up 5.3%, Mineral Resources up 4.5%, and Saracen Mineral Holdings up 4.3%. The 5 worst performers were Estia Health down 4.8%, Fortescue Metals down 4%, Australian Agriculture down 3.9%, Spark New Zealand down 3.5%, and CIMIC Group down 3.4%. The Australian dollar is currently flat to slightly negative, down 0.15% to 77.45 US cents. Spot gold is higher by $7.50 or 0.6% to $1,254 US dollars. Crude oil is currently higher by 0.2% or 10 cents to $50.45. This has been the Australian Stock Market Closing Report for Wednesday, the 8th of June 2016, and I've been your host, Aaron First. I'll see you again next time.